You've tried cinnamon in oatmeal, maybe berberine, maybe chromium. You've cut the bread, skipped dessert, and still, your doctor shows you that A1C number, and the expression on their face tells you everything. Nobody explained to you, but the problem was never how much sugar you ate. It's how fast that sugar floods your blood after a meal. The speed, that sudden spike. That's where the real damage is happening, to your vessels, your kidneys, your nerves. And there is one tiny seed sitting on a shelf right now for less than a cup of coffee in America that physically blocks sugar absorption before it ever fully enters your bloodstream. With just a gel, it forms inside your own digestive tract. I'm going to show you exactly how it works, what the research actually says, and the one benefit I saved for last that I truly believe you deserve to know. Stick with me. Before we go further, let me be straight with you, because you've probably been burned by health content before. This seed will not replace your medication. If your doctor prescribed metformin, keep taking it. It's an excellent drug. But it does one specific job, reducing glucose production in your liver. It was never designed to slow sugar absorption through your intestinal wall after a meal. Different stage entirely. That's the gap we're addressing today. The research also used surprisingly small amounts, as little as 1 teaspoon, and still measured real changes in post-meal blood sugar. No complicated protocol, no diet overhaul. And I'll say this plainly. Nothing in this video cures anything. What this seed does is reduce the spike that happens after every meal, the silent damage that accumulates in your vessels, kidneys, and nerves over years. What is this seed? Chia, Salvia hispanica. Tiny, ancient, absurdly cheap. Researchers across 3 continents have spent decades studying why this seed affects blood sugar in ways that more expensive interventions simply don't. Here are the 5 reasons, starting useful, ending with something that will genuinely stop you mid-thought. Benefit 5. Your insulin is sending messages nobody is receiving. 2 tablespoons of chia delivers roughly 5 grams of ALA, a plant-based omega-3 that exceeds what most fish oil supplements offer per dose. Here's what that has to do with your blood sugar. Insulin resistance isn't always about broken cells. Often, it's about interference. Chronic low-grade inflammation, the kind that builds silently over decades, releases chemical signals that block communication between insulin and your cells. Insulin does its job perfectly. Your cells simply never get the message. ALA consistently reduces key inflammatory markers in research studies, including C-reactive protein and interleukin-6. Not dramatically, not overnight, but steadily, over weeks, it clears enough interference that your existing insulin starts landing more effectively. Before any other mechanism on this list can work properly, this one has to happen first. Consider it the prerequisite. Benefit 4. The organ nobody worries about until it's too late. Tucked behind your stomach sits your pancreas, a small organ with one job that determines everything about blood sugar management, producing insulin through cells called beta cells. Those beta cells erode quietly over time through oxidative stress, unstable molecules produced by ordinary metabolism that accumulate damage across years. You don't feel it happening. There's no warning symptom. You just gradually produce less insulin than you used to, and your numbers start drifting in the wrong direction. Chia contains a cluster of antioxidant compounds, quercetin, chlorogenic acid, camphorol, caffeic acid, that neutralize these damaging molecules before they reach beta cells. What's already been lost cannot be recovered, but what remains can be protected. Quercetin alone has demonstrated the ability to guard fats, proteins, and cellular DNA simultaneously. 3 layers of protection from a single compound occurring naturally in this seed. Benefit 3. The number your doctor watches. That chia actually moves. Dr. Vladimir Vuksan at the University of Toronto has studied dietary fiber and blood glucose for over 20 years. His controlled trials on chia seed found something specific. Whole chia significantly reduced post-meal blood glucose, not by interfering with digestive enzymes, but through a physical process involving the seed's outer coating. A 2020 Spanish study went further, running chia mucilage through an artificial digestive system, one that replicates stomach acid, intestinal enzymes, and absorption rates mechanically, and recorded a significant reduction in glucose crossing the intestinal barrier. Now, the honest part. A pooled analysis of 8 randomized trials found chia did not significantly lower fasting glucose or HbA1c. That's important to say clearly. If your morning number is the problem, chia isn't where to focus. What it moves is the post-meal reading, the spike that hits 1 to 2 hours after eating. For people over 60, that spike is where the long-term damage quietly accumulates. Every meal, every day, for years. Consistently reducing it changes what your body absorbs, what your vessels experience, and eventually what your labs reflect. Benefit 2. 2 diagnoses that are actually one. Most people treat high blood sugar and high blood pressure as separate concerns managed by separate specialists. They're not. They're the same underlying problem expressed through 2 different organ systems, and they feed each other in a cycle that worsens silently over time. Elevated glucose gradually stiffens blood vessel walls. Stiffer vessels require more pressure to push blood through. That sustained pressure strains the kidneys. Strained kidneys lose their ability to assist with glucose regulation, which worsens blood sugar, which damages more vessels. A 2021 randomized controlled trial gave 42 people with confirmed type 2 diabetes 40 grams of chia daily for 12 weeks. On top of their existing medications, the chia group recorded a statistically significant drop in systolic blood pressure, the number most associated with stroke risk. Chia doesn't attack either problem in isolation. Its fiber slows glucose entry. Its omega-3s reduce vessel wall inflammation. Its natural potassium and magnesium help vessels remain flexible rather than rigid. It addresses the cycle from several entry points at once, rather than one. Benefit 1. What a $3 bag has in common with a $1,200 injection. Every supplement marketed for blood sugar works through one mechanism. 1. Cinnamon sensitizes one receptor type. Berberine activates one enzyme pathway. Chromium assists one transport process. Chia works through 4 established mechanisms simultaneously, and then does something no other food on the list does. The mucilage gel physically slows glucose absorption at the intestinal wall. Soluble fiber delays how quickly food leaves your stomach, spreading glucose release across more time. Protein activates satiety hormones that reduce how much you eat at the next meal, automatically, without any conscious effort. Omega-3s address the inflammatory interference blocking insulin at the cellular level. And then there's the 5th thing. When chia fiber reaches your large intestine, gut bacteria ferment it and produce a short-chain fatty acid called butyrate. Butyrate triggers the release of GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide 1. If you've heard of Ozempic, you've heard of GLP-1. Semaglutide, Ozempic's active compound, works specifically by activating GLP-1 receptors. It costs over $1,000 monthly. The mechanism Chia triggers through fermentation is the same biological pathway. At a fraction of the magnitude, that has to be said clearly, but the same pathway, activated naturally every time you eat it, consistently. That's what puts this at number 1. I'll give you a simple way to start. Week 1. 1 tablespoon stirred into 8 ounces of water. Wait 10 minutes, you'll see the water thicken. Drink it 15 minutes before your largest meal. Week 2. Add a 2nd tablespoon into breakfast, oatmeal, yogurt, a smoothie. At 30 days, request a 2-hour post-meal glucose test from your doctor. Not fasting, post-meal. That's where movement shows up first. Never eat chia dry. It swells in your esophagus and can cause a blockage. If you take warfarin, aspirin therapy, or any blood thinner, tell your doctor before adding chia regularly. The omega-3 content has a mild anticoagulant effect that can interact with existing medication. This is 1 seed, 5 mechanisms, 12 cents a day. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Everything discussed here is for educational purposes only. I am not your physician. Please consult your doctor before changing your diet or medication. All cited studies are linked in the description.